Hello, everyone. Welcome to Buy Bags. I'll be your reviewer for today. I'm Lonnie from Heaven77, and yep, we're coming up on Halloween, representing my Michael Myers T-shirt. And I just want to take a quick minute to say I hope everybody has a wonderful Halloween. I hope everybody's safe. Everybody has a good time. Hopefully, everybody gets to go trick or treating. Just I hope everything works out for everybody. So, just all my best wishes to each and every one of you, and I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday. So anyway, we're doing our theme week this week, and our theme is Murder by the Numbers. And the one I decided to go with is a fun little horror comedy from Australia. It came out in 2013, and the movie I'm talking about is called 100 Bloody Acres. Now, I think this movie is a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. And, this movie, honestly, in my opinion, this movie feels very much like the Australian version of maybe something like Motel Hell. There's a little bit of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, influence thrown in there too. But yeah, I really enjoy this movie. I have a lot of fun with it. You have a good Australian cast in this movie. You have, you have Damon Herriman and you have Angus Sampson. I'll get to them in a minute. You got a nice little cameo from John Jarratt, good old Mick Taylor himself. And if I did have to make a complaint about this movie, that would probably be my biggest complaint. Unfortunately, John Jarratt is only in the movie for a very small portion of it. And, and me personally, I love Wolf Creek. I love the first movie. I love the second movie. I love the TV series, as much of it as I've been able to see. But yeah, so John Jarratt in a movie that, definitely brings my day up. And that would probably be my biggest complaint about this movie, is just he wasn't in the movie long. But anyway, so let's go ahead. We'll talk about what this movie is. Now, this movie, like I said, I think it's a lot of fun. You were introduced to one of our main characters here. We have Reg Morgan, played by Damon Herriman, and he's one of the Morgan brothers. And Damon Herriman, if you're not familiar with him, he was very well known for being on the TV show Justified when that was on. But most recently, everybody's going to notice him as the one actor who played Charles Manson twice. Okay, he played Charles Manson the first time, I think it was the first time in Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And then he played Charles Manson a second time on the Netflix series Mindhunter. And I just got to say, I think he does a really good job as Charles Manson. My number one is always still going to be Steve Railsback. That's just me. But I think Damon Herriman, I think he did a really good job both times. It's kind of fun, though, too. Like, if you watch his performance as Manson in both, like in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he plays Manson when he was younger, during the 60s, around the time of the Tate murders. So it's kind of fun to see him play Manson at that point. And then when you watch him play Manson on Mindhunter, this is when Manson is, older, and he's been in jail for a number of years. So it's kind of cool to see him in one performance play young Manson, and then another performance play older Manson. So I just think that that's interesting. So our lead character here, Reg Morgan, he's driving along, and he's driving the not the pickup truck, but the storage truck that he drives. That he owns a company called Morgan Brothers Fertilizer that he runs with his brother Lindsay, played by Angus Sampson, who Simpson, or is it Sampson or Simpson? Sampson. I'm sorry, I got that confused. My bad. Angus Sampson. And Angus Sampson, I'm pretty sure all the horror fans out there already know. If you've ever watched the Insidious movies, you know Angus Sampson. He plays the character of Tucker in all the Insidious movies. And another really good, fine actor. And I think he did a good job in this movie too. Anyway, so now our friend here, Reg, he's driving his truck along, and we find out that what ends up happening is that Reg, part of his job is to drive around the roads and look for car accidents, head-on collisions, anything like that, where there are dead bodies. And what he does is he takes the dead bodies, puts them in the back of the truck, takes it back to their farm, and what they do is they grind the dead bodies up, and they turn them in, mix them with other things, and they turn people's bodies into fertilizer. Then they turn around, they sell the fertilizer to, local farmers, and then the farmers end up having a fantastic, they have a fantastic crop grow and everything else. Turns out that their fertilizer, they're up and comers and they're very popular because of their fertilizer. So Reg, he stops, he sees a car crash, so he goes, he checks, the guy, looks to be dead, so he puts the body back in the back of the truck, and so he's starting to drive, heading back to the farm to dispose of him. And in the meanwhile, we're introduced to our three other main characters. We're introduced to our female lead, Sophie, and we're introduced to her two companions. One is James, and the other one is Wes. Now, this gets a bit tricky here because we find out pretty early on that Sophie is actually dating James, and at the beginning of the movie, we find out that James is actually planning to propose marriage to Sophie. But we also find out at the same time that Sophie is having an affair with Wes. So, anyway, their job was to go get water, and Wes is trying to get Sophie to, have a quickie with him. And she's like, no, not right now, and all this stuff. We got to get water and all. So they get water, and it turns out that their car overheated. They're parked on the side of the road. And so, she's, talking with James and everything else. And one thing you're going to find out about the character of Wes is, this kind of character exists in many horror films. Wes is he's kind of the character who, he's always saying the wrong things. He's always doing the wrong things. You kind of come to find out that a lot of the trouble that the characters get into is because of this character and his words and his actions and things like that. So, James is telling him, the car is overheated. We need to let it cool down. But the problem is now Wes is getting jealous and he's getting pissy because, Sophie and James are talking. So he gets in the car, is like, let's go. So he just revs the engine, then pretty much burns up the motor in the car. So now they're stuck. They got to go, now they got to hitchhike to this festival that they're going to. And so on their way there, they see the Morgan Brothers truck coming, and Wes in his great, intelligence decides he's going to jump in front of the truck and get it to stop. And so, Reg, he swerves the truck, just barely manages to avoid hitting Wes, but he comes to a stop because he's shaken, he's scared, and we find out that Reg is kind of a very kind of shy, scared, kind of a timid character. And so Sophie comes up and she's like, I'm very sorry about that. And he's like, I could have killed your boyfriend or whatever, and all this stuff. And so she's like, I'm sorry, just, he thought maybe we could get a ride. And at first, Reg is like, no, I'm sorry, I'm busy. I got things to do. I can't give you guys a ride. Sorry. And so he starts to drive. And then what we realize is that, like I said, Reg is a very kind of shy and timid kind of a character. And that we find out that his brother Lindsay, Angus Sampson, we find out he's very overbearing. He's he's an abusive brother. He kicks him around, knocks him around, beats on him, doesn't give him any credit, even though they're both, doing all this work to get their, fertilizer company up and running. Even though they both do the work, Lindsay takes all the credit and basically just makes, Reg feel like a nothing a lot of the time. And so, and then we come to find out that, they haven't been finding a lot of, dead bodies on the road lately. And so what Reggie decides to do is he figures that he's going to take some initiative and do something. So he figures, what? These three people, I could go ahead and, if I can sucker them into the truck and get them back to the farm, we can kill them, and then we could turn around, we can, make them in fertilizer and stuff like that. So he goes back and he gives the three of them a lift, but he gets in the back of the truck first so he can make sure that he hides the dead body that he found earlier. And so he ends up having, James and Wes right in the back of the truck, and he has Sophie right in the front of the truck with him. And so as they're driving, Reg and Sophie begin to have a dialogue. They start to get to know each other and become friendly. And that's when we find out that Sophie was actually, a country girl, and she talked about how she started to grow up in the country, but then her dad sent her to a private school in the city, so she's kind of more of a city slicker type, which, these kind of movies, you have the, it's the old tried and true horror, horror line or horror cliche storyline of, the city slickers kind of getting off the beaten path in the back country, and then they run afoul of, these kind of hillbilly kind of hick type characters and stuff. So, but anyway, so meanwhile, in the back of the truck, Wes ultimately discovers, the dead body, and so they're trying to get, Reg to stop the truck, and he's able to finally get them to the farm, and then he goes and he tells Lindsay about what he had done, and Lindsay at first, of course, is very angry about this, but then Reg explains to them that, but the thing is, I thought if I went ahead and brought these people back to the farm and, we could kill them, we'd have more people. I was just trying to, do something, take some initiative to get some recognition out of this, that I do some work in this whole operation too. And so, they take the three of them into their work area, and we come to find out that actually, I'm not going to give too much away. I've already given away enough. But we come to find out that actually what would work best is, instead of killing the three characters and then grinding them up into fertilizer, it would be better to grind them up into fertilizer while they're still alive, because they would have a higher, what did they say, like a higher potassium quotient. And so ultimately now the movie is a series of all of our characters in this movie, both Reg and Lindsay, and our three main characters, Wes, Sophie, and James. It's one of those things. Like, everybody in this movie is having an incredibly bad day, and it just seems like things are going to get worse and worse, and everything just kind of snowballs and escalates, and this movie's a lot of fun. It's it's not really scary, but I will say there is quite a good bit of gore in this movie. So, maybe not the goriest movie of all time, but you know what? I think there's enough blood and gore and carnage to keep the gore hounds, happy about this. And, there's some good dark humor in it, and some good funny moments. And, I feel there's some genuine edge of your seat moments, because, it's just, kind of like it keeps you into it. It kind of really keeps you into, like, how are our three main characters going to get out of this? How is everything, what's going to happen? It keeps you guessing, or at least for me, it did the first time I watched it. And, like I said, you have really good performances from everybody all around. One thing I like, though, is that, you got the character of Reg, Damon Herriman's character. He's really conflicted. At first, he's trying to, he's trying to appeal to his brother and trying to get his brother's approval. And then as the movie progresses, he realizes what he's doing is wrong, and that he needs to step up and he needs to, right the wrongs that he's done. And then I was really taken by Angus Sampson's performance as Lindsay, because the one thing is, like, Angus Sampson easily could have played this over the top. He could have easily played this as just raving, drooling lunatic, but he doesn't do that. He doesn't go overboard. His character is very cool, but his character is very angry. I think he keeps you, like, his character kind of keeps you really on your toes, and you don't really want to know, like, what he's going to do next. But like I said, he's not ranting or raving. He's not crazy. It's just his character is like, oh my God, shit just keeps getting worse and getting worse and getting worse. And a lot of it is, just, I can't deal with Reg and his bullshit. So I gotta be the big brother. I gotta step up and take care of everything. So, I just think that this is a good, fun movie to watch. And I was very lucky. I think I only paid maybe like 75 cents for this DVD, and it was definitely well worth it. This is a good, fun Australian gore flick. Some good black comedy in it. Good performances. I can't say enough about it. So I would definitely say, yeah, check out 100 Bloody Acres. It's a lot of fun. So So anyway, that's going to pretty much take care of it. I think I've talked more than long enough. If anybody took the time to watch this video, I thank you very much for doing it. I hope you appreciate the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please give the video a like. If you haven't already, go ahead and please subscribe to the Body Bags channel. We have different reviewers, one for every day of the week. I'm the Friday reviewer. Different guys, everybody's all doing great stuff. And yeah, so everybody, like I said, take care. Hopefully you all have a wonderful holiday, a wonderful Halloween, and have a good night. I'll see you later.